Okie dokie nerds, welcome to another vintage video. Today we're playing some Doomsday. We're playing the exact 75 that Stefan Schutz took to a top 8 finish at Eternal Weekend Europe. I've just lifted that list completely. We're going to run it through a challenge. I played a lot of Dredge going in the build up to Eternal Weekend, as I felt like that was the only acceptable Bazaar deck to consider. And yeah, I am going to just give this a bash. Bit of a meme, play some rounds, maybe not play it all, depends on how we do. Yeah. Our first little go on Doomsday. We want Undercity Sewers, bear that in mind. Lotus Jet Sapphire Ancestral Walk is our power. Single days, Ritual Lotus out of Doomsday, draw into the pile, win with Thassa's Oracle. Card to post board for other matchups. Excellent. That's the deck. Let's go to round one. So here we are, round one up against Terminus. I would like to play first. Yeah, that's true. So, already posed the question of how do we feel about tap land in Vintage on turn one. I guess we probe them to start. Maybe I play the sewers first to see if I'm drawing. Well, how do we feel about this hand in general? What is it? It's turn one sewers. Turn two vamp for Lotus. Win on the spot. No protection. I think I've got to keep it because I think it's very powerful with the vamp. Opponent hasn't revealed a Lurrus. I recognise the opponent's name, but I don't know what they play. So, I don't know what to do with this probe, seeing as it is my blue card. I feel like I'm supposed to just play Sewers Go. Because if I just go Sewers Go, what does a kill look like on turn 2 though? Upkeep Vamp for Lotus, Lotus for Doomsday, Cyclist Street Wraith, but then I'm not on Gush at that point, am I? Assuming we've got to use Force of Will. Like, if I don't have to use Force of Will, Street Wraith Probe is a kill. So maybe this is actually a mulligan, maybe we've already fucked up on our first decision of the event. Okay, opponent's here, and I think I'm just going to play the Sewers and just cross my fingers. That's a Ponder. I'm probably into that, aren't I? And if I get wastelanded, I can cycle through it. Because Ponder's going to help me make land drops. Gitaxian Probe in my hand is going to be a nice blue card to pitch with. And if Ponder finds us something like Lotus, then we've got a... I need another land before I even consult for Lotus, right? Or Vamp for Lotus for... No, that doesn't work either. This is going to be a long video of me rambling a lot, I think. We've also got the consult, right? We've got consult and vamp here. So that's an easy way to get us to Thassa's Oracle. Opponent did take a mulligan. I think there's a big limited event on. So I think our boy here is deep in the multi-queue life. But that's fine. So they've got a turn 1 Ponder. Underground Sea, no Lurrus probably means we're in a mirror match. Which means we're probably heavily disadvantaged. In that I assume our opponent's got more mirror match reps than we have. So I think I'm going to Ponder. Because I would like to make a land drop this turn. Alright, so what have we got? Force of Will, Preordain, Underground Sea. So I think I want to take the sea. I want Force of Will, Preordain, and then sea. No thank you. So now I've got the sea. I can probe you and know what's up and draw my Preordain. Now we know your hand, which is Force of Will, Gush, DT, Dark Ritual, Ponder. Okay, so I'm currently losing the Force of Will battle. They may have a land on top of their deck. I don't play Wasteland. So I lose the Force of Will if I'm the one casting the first Force of Will, right? I win it otherwise. They have got a Street Wraith, so they could be floating something. We could vamp for Lotus, Street Wraith, cast Doomsday, put a Gush on top. Or I could do that next turn all in one pile. But they've got Gush as well. So they go Ritual, DT, land, Ritual, DT. I think they're a mana short of killing next turn. But if they're floating Flusterstorm, we've also got a problem. So I think I pass. And I think I try and vamp end step. And I think I can also cycle Street Wraith if I want to get my Force of Will, and then I can force Pitching Force and hold the Preordain. I don't know anything about the mirror match, and just the way the hands are lined up, I feel like I need to be the one that's proactive. But I felt like Vamp Street Wraith, Vamp for Lotus Street Wraith into Lotus Doomsday was a bit too proactive, if that makes sense. So they're just going with the double cycle here. They chose not to use the ability of Ponder. So their whole hand has changed. So maybe they just couldn't find a land, Street Wraith into Street Wraith. And no land drop. 7 cards though. So I guess I just vamp for Lotus now. Because I've got Force of Will protection. So I can go Black Lotus. They might have double force at this point, but, you know, good on them if they do. Wrong colours. Let's just cast a Doomsday. They cast Force of Will, which we kind of expected. Pitching a Preordain, which we didn't know about. 5 cards, we know 4 of them. If the other one's another Force, then that's not great. So, but it looks like our things resolved. So what would I like to gush into? Street Wraith Gush, blue, blue. So that's fine. Like, so Street Wraith into Gush, cast Gush. I have Daze. Daze doesn't work, so I need Flusterstorm. So Gush, it's probably better not to give them ideas of what I've got in my pile. Gush is going to be the top card of my pile. Then I want probably a couple of Thassa's Oracles because I'm not very good at making piles. And I might fuck it up. Sapphire seems great for later. And then a... what did I say? A Flusterstorm. And our pile is going to be Gush on top. Then... I've not made a land drop yet this turn. So I can replace C with 2 floating. It makes sense to me. So I need to put these in an order. So it's going to be Thoracle on the bottom, then Sapphire, then Thoracle, then Fluster, then Gush. I'm going to cycle my Street Wraith. I'm going to pay blue, blue, and return my 2 islands. That now means I've got 3 mana, a Flusterstorm, and a Thassa's Oracle. So, and 2 cards in deck, and Devotion 2. Seems good if you ask me. Let's put a Sapphire on top. No, we've won. Perfect. So, what else do we want? These 3 seem good, as does this Duress. So these 4 seem like they're good in the mirror match. Chain of Vapor looks like it's not doing a lot. Days on the draw is probably questionable. That gives me potentially 2 cuts. The Thoughtseize seems great. I don't think I'm ever supposed to cut Street Wraith. Necro looks like a fantastic Mirror Breaker. Maybe Vamps are supposed to get trimmed. And now I need one more cut if this is the avenue I'm going to take, sort of thing. Or do I want to just like leave the negation at home and lean on triple fluster? Or can I get away with cutting Island because my mana's not going anywhere? Maybe that's fine. Cut an Island. It's not like they're a Wasteland matchup, right? So that seemed fine. I'm sure there was a more efficient pile for us there, but all good in the hood. We got away with it. And yeah, it's just one of those games where it paid to be proactive. You wanted to be the person protecting, not the person defending, sort of thing, due to the nature of our hands. Obviously, I was the lucky one that I had the probe, therefore I knew that. Whereas our opponent might have felt like they had more time. So I don't know if that's going to be the way Doomsday matchups shake out. I'm currently 1 game deep for Doomsday Mirror's lifetime. Okay, game 2 we've been greeted with this hand, and I think this is crap, right? I can't protect myself and I can't protect my Doomsday, so it's like a mulligan to 4 lands. So I'm just going to take a mulligan to 6 and hope it's not nonsense. This also doesn't look great, but I'm going to keep it. I'm going to bottom an Underground Sea and say done. And I think I'll start on Flooded Strand, go get Undercity or get Underground Sea if I need to. Like if they try and do something big, we can fluster it and we can be on the back foot for a moment whilst we try and sculpt into something reasonable. We have got some Duresses in our deck. We've got 2. 1 Thoughtseize, 1 Duress. Oh, they've got a Moxjet. Nice. And that's that. Cool. So 5 cards for the opponent, 6 cards for us. That's a Doomsday. Cool. I'm just going to play my Misty. And if they want us to fetch an Underground Sea to fluster them, that's fine. And if they want us to Demonic Tutor. How do I feel about Demonic? I think fine. Yeah, and if they want us to fetch an Undercity, we can do that as well. They're going to be our 2 options. We might just get flustered back though. Oh no, they're just sculpting. Sculpting and sculpting. So I'm going to go and get my Undercity. Do a little bit of our own sculpting. Dink. Yeah, I'd like this to resolve. And I've got a Ponder on top. How do I feel about a Ponder? Probably pretty good. Yeah, probably pretty good. So let's cast Ponder. And we've got Flustered, Dark Ritual, Necro. I like these cards. How do I get all of them? I guess casting Brainstorm on end step. So let's just go with Fluster on the bottom, then Necro, then Dark Ritual. Use Ponder's ability? No, I don't think I will. Now I'll play my Underground Sea again. So I continue to have Fluster up, and then on their end step I can Brainstorm. And then go like Ritual Necro with double Fluster back up. And we'll try and build a kill from there. Because Ritual Doomsday with double Fluster back up seems good as well. Now that I've said those words out loud. But I think Necro will just allow us to push the game further into our favour. And I feel like Ritual Doomsday is a little bit scarier for us. I think that's like quite resource intensive to lose. So I'm going to Brainstorm on their end step. I'm going to put back Ponder Preordain. Ponder on top though. So now we can take our draw. It's going to be a rando blue card, one of those cantrips. We'll play Flood Strand. I'll fetch away. I'm not too interested in that Preordain on top of our deck. And I'll cast a Dark Ritual. If they fight the Ritual, we might just chill. No, they don't. I'm just going to throw the Necro at them. And Necro forces them to have Force of Will. It can't be a Flusterstorm of their own to counter me. So they've got a Force and Negation, so I'm going to Fluster it. This one, please. I'll use the Undercity. So even if they had Flusterstorm here, it wasn't good enough. And if they've got another piece of interaction, we've got another Flusterstorm. And then we can just like draw 10 or something stupid, right? And really just kind of drive them into the ground and get enough Force of Wills up. Or at least that's my game plan. I don't know if I want to draw 10 or draw up to 10. That I haven't decided yet. But yeah, because imagine they flustered back on my Doomsday, that would be very annoying. And it would be a fight that I'd struggle to win, and I'd be down 2 cards. Whereas this way, I've set up a fight over something that's maybe it's not killing immediately. Mindbreak Trap. Okay. Let's hope they don't have a Force of Will then. My Storm Trigger resolved. That's targeting Mindbreak Traps. Yeah, let's go after everything. If they've got more Mindbreak Traps, then, you know, congratulations. If they've got another Force of Will, then we've all traded a lot of resources, and I'm holding a Doomsday. So let's see if they've got anything else left. Necro resolves, perfect. So I'm going to draw up to 10, so that's going to be 8 activations. We'll go to 10 life. I'm going to hold priority. I'm not in the mood for waiting for all the clicks, you know? Yeah. So that's going to draw us up to 10. We'll go to our end step and we'll hopefully have something good in hand. Delta, Preordain, Dark Ritual, Force of Will, Street Wraith, Treasure Cruise, Taxian Probe, and a Consult. Not what I dreamed of. Do I want to cycle this Street Wraith? That would be down 2 cards in the future. But how many more turns are we expecting this game to go? I think I will cycle the Street Wraith. Street Wraith gets exiled. See you later, bro. Thank you. And I get a Preordain. Okay, so not great either. Let's go to cleanup. Discard Preordain. Preordain. I want the Preordain actually. Preordain. Ponder. And do I just discard a land? I think so. That can happen. We've only got a Force of Will for protection, but they've just used a bunch of protection of their own. They cycle Street Wraith. They've got 5 cards. That's not cool. They've got Dark Ritual. Doomsday, which I'll force. But they now might be on Flusterstorms, right? Yeah. Sure. So we might be dying here. Maybe I was supposed to go for the thing, but then they had the mana upright and they had the Flusterstorm, so they've only got 2 cards. Let's hope none of those are cantrips. I felt Necro for a billion was going to be good, but I just didn't draw as many permission spells as I'd hoped. We did use 2 to push that play through, though. And maybe I'm supposed to just accept my fate on the Mindbreak Trap and hold up a Flusterstorm. But then I'd only have a Flusterstorm for this line, right? And they would have flustered back, so it's all the same. This way I got to draw 8 cards and put myself in a slightly better position. That's how I'm going to read it. Only 2 cards. Hopefully they're short cantrip, although they did start the turn by cycling a Street Wraith, so seems unlikely. Okay, so opponent's going to show us their exile zone, and they've got slightly different deck to us. Oh, multiple Mindbreak traps, but there's the cantrip and an ancestral, and we die. Okay, so I felt like we were in a good position there, but apparently not. Oh, they get to see my hand. Oh, they went to 0 cards in deck. That's interesting. And then they cast Thoracle. I should have conceded in response to the probe, but it doesn't really matter. Nothing of note. Well, of note, they've got 2 negations. They've got 2 Mindbreak traps. And how many flusters did they play? 1, 2, 3 flusters. Okay, so they're more permission heavy. But those 2 slots, we've got Duress and Thoughtseize, right? On the play, I think I'm more interested in my days. And I think I might just come down a cantrip. I don't know which one's worse, but I'm going to take out a Preordain. Duress and Nonsense. Yeah, right, I'm up for some nonsense, I think. Let's keep this. Do I want to Duress them or do I want to ponder? I think I'm going to ponder. Force of Will, Preordain, Thoracle. I definitely want the Force of Will. It's just do I want the Preordain or the Thassa's Oracle? Probably the Preordain. Yeah. And the next turn I can fetch Preordain Duress. Or fetch Duress Preordain. Okay, opponent's turn 1. They've got the probe today. And they've just passed. Okay. They've seen my hand and decided they don't want to do anything. I'm going to play my fetch land and I'm going to Duress them. And if this eats a piece of permission, I'm just going to let it go. I'm not too fussed. So what have you got? Mindbreak, Trap, Street Wraith, Thassa's Oracle, Lands, Force of Wills, Flusters, blah blah blah. Lots of words. Is Flusterstorm the most annoying one there? Or do I just take the Gush and leave them on crap? I think I'm just going to take their Gush. And try and fight through the permission slowly. Do I want to fetch Preordain or do I want to... No, because I know about my Flusterstorm, so I need to make them respect the cards I've got. And respect the cards they know I've got, sort of thing. So they know I've got a Flusterstorm. And we're just going to try and grind through this shit here. Whilst keeping them off good things, sort of thing. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to just take one of their random permission pieces. But it's all the same, right? So they draw Underground Sea and play that for the turn. They haven't got... Oh, no, they Flooded Strand, sorry. I'm going to fetch because I'm not too fussed about that Thoracle I've got on top of my deck. It doesn't interest me at the moment. I will be interested in lands being on top of my deck. With the Undercity, and maybe that's it. Maybe I'm mostly interested in mana at the moment. Undercity resolves. I've got Thassa's Oracle on top of my deck still. I don't want that, I'm afraid. I did shuffle, you know. Let's play the Preordain, because I know about the Preordain. Dark Ritual Necro. Force of Will Fluster. Man, I really like these cards though. So let's go top and pass the turn. I'll draw the Necro next turn. I'll probably just try and fluster anything they do this turn if they do something. I cycle a Street Wraith. Or maybe I'm supposed to ponder for land, dig through time, try and make something of their end step, and then untap and hit them with the old Necro. Brainstorm. So let's fluster Brainstorm. They might respond, but I think that's fine. That's just going to put the 6th card in my graveyard, which means I can just try and annoy them slightly over the coming turns. It seems like they're just going to let that go. Yeah. Hopefully they haven't drawn the world since then. They play Underground Sea. And they play Thassa's Oracle from hand. And the trigger resolves. Okay. Interesting stuff. So holding Force of Will, Mindbreak Trap, a Flusterstorm. And I can burn all of that now with the Necro, right? Ritual Necro. You Force, I Force. You Trap, I Fluster. And I have a Necro in play. So I guess we just go with that. That seems great. You've got one mystery card. If it's a daze, then sure, I can die. That's fine. Ritual. Necro. You Force, pitching Flusterstorm. Okay. I Force, pitching Ponder. You Trap, I Fluster. What do they do with their Thassa's Oracle? Oh, I don't really know. Flusterstorm you. And we'll go with same targets, same targets, same targets. And then we'll do a bonus couple on the Force of Will, because we can. So Mindbreak Trap goes away, Force of Will goes away. All of my spells are on the stack. They've got one card in hand. I've got a Necropotence. I'm going to draw more this time. I'm going to draw 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, please. So that's going to put us up to 10 cards in hand on our end step, and then if it's all crap, I'm holding a dig through time as well, and I've got the requisite graveyard to do that stuff as well. So Gush, Force, Ancestral, Mindbreak Trap, Misty, Delta, Misstep, Dark Ritual, Demonic Consultation. Okay, so end step, we'll discard Delta. Ooh. Do I need Dark Ritual in this world? Probably not. I do need to keep one of the lands, which means I've got to get rid of one of these spells. I kind of like the Consult. Ancestral, Gush, or Dig. Maybe it's just Dig can go. Or maybe the Misstep, actually, yeah. Let's get rid of the Misstep and see how that flies. Buy cards. So I still don't understand what they did with their Thassa's Oracle, if anything. If they kept a card or not. They've got 2 cards in hand. We've got 2 pieces of permission here. I'm going to force this. And I'm going to pitch the Mindbreak Trap, though, because it doesn't look like they're triggering that in the near future. They're going to attack me for 1. Bink, bink. And we're going to untap. And we don't draw. We'll fetch immediately. I want to get cards out of my deck. And now we'll cast Dig Through Time, getting rid of a bunch of stuff. What have we got? some magic cards. So let's take Force of Will Doomsday, I guess. Well, I'm just really looking for the Thassa's Oracle, aren't I? So let's take Force of Will Ponder. Because I've got the rest of it sorted. Now let's Ancestral ourselves. And now we can cast a Sapphire. Cast Ponder. Any order, I think. Find a Daze, and then I'll Necro for 3 or something. Force Negation, Preordain, Force of Will. Okay, so clean up. I'm going to discard Force of Will, Preordain. So I've got triple Permission up and a Gush to go with it. Opponent has a Ponder, which is fine. We are struggling to find this final Thassa's Oracle. Maybe that Doomsday was actually really good for us. They cycle a Street Wraith. We've got a Scalding Tarn and 1 card. They attack me for 1. I really don't want to die to Thassa's Oracle combat damage. Time Walk. I'll negate this, pitching Preordain. I know, pitching Daze, they've got no cards in hand. I'm going for the lethal Thassa's Oracle over there, which is kind of scary. So we don't draw. We do cast Ponder first. Thassa's Oracle, cool, and that's game. So this one, this one, this one. Use Ponder's ability. No. And now we can just meme and clown. So consult, namestick a goblin, Thassa's Oracle, force behind, and we win. There are no goblins in my deck, and we've got a blocker for their lethal attack. So round 1 goes to us with Doomsday in the mirror. Very nice. I'll see you for round 2. Okay then, round 2. We're up against Magic Dad's 7-1-5-2-2. So I like this hand. I don't have any protection on turn 1, but I can find some with a Street Wraith. Let's keep this, find out what they're doing, and then go from there. It's not the fastest kill in the world, but we do have the walk into a quick kill. I don't know if I want to punt off the Street Wraith unless they make me. I'd rather hold on to that. And then I'm not sure if I'm turn 1 pondering. Well, I guess it depends on what land they play as to whether I'm turn 1 pondering, turn 1 flustering, you know. Fluster for Undercity, that sort of thing. Turn 2, we can probably just punt off a Time Walk and see what turn 3 has to say for itself. Seems like a good plan. Okay. I mulliganed to 5, so maybe doing some dredge nonsense. Nothing exiled, but dredge or mono white is where I would imagine they're going to be. Oh, no one's been particularly fast today. Black Lotus is concerning. But I don't want to cycle the Street Wraith because that informs plays, right? So yeah, mono white initiative is what we're up against. If this is an Archon, we can cycle for Force of Will. It's an Anointed Peacekeeper. So I mean we'll cycle for Force of Will anyway. And we find nothing. Cool. But now we know our Flusterstorm's dead. They'll probably kill one of our 2 fetch lands here. And they've still got a land drop to give. So I imagine we're going to want a basic island ponder. with the fetch land that they don't turn off. Unless they name Ponder, actually. That could be a play. That will slow me down a lot, won't it? Yeah. Strip Mine, interesting. So let's draw a card. Underground Sea. I'll play a Misty. Whereas my removal spells, they're all in the board, aren't they? Triple Push. And a Murktide. Maybe a Null Rod, I don't know. Right, 3 cards for the opponent then. Unlikely for them to have an instant or sorcery. Fast Fluster's dead. I'm going to hold the Misty, and I'm going to cycle my Time Walk. Don't know if they're going to have post-combat plays. They had a very good anti-dredge hand, didn't they? Which is one of the things we get on days like this when we go slightly off-piste. We can gain a little bit from people keeping anti-dredge hands game 1. Jesus. So I'm going to fetch my... I just get... I'll get Basic Island. I'll play an Underground Sea and I'll cycle it. They might strip us here, and I think that's fine. And if they don't strip us, we can cast a Ponder. Yeah, so there goes the Strip Mine. And that, interestingly, so one thing we can deduce from this is they strip my Underground Sea, which obviously taking me off black mana is great, but it does mean that they are less likely to have a Wasteland in their hand. Because if they're holding Wasteland, then they probably take the island outright, knowing that they can get us in the future. They've got 4 cards after their draw step. Our plan here is to fetch the Undercity and have no lands left in our deck. But I do have one more Underground Sea. There's a cavern here. I'm naming human, and that's that. They get in for 3, we go to 11. We're going to fetch on end step and go to 10. And we'll fetch our Surveil land. So Undercity Sewers, 1 land left in our deck. Force of Will. That doesn't do anything in the face of a Cavern of Souls. I mean, it might fight fast mana, but I feel like I need to be doing something rather than fighting fast mana here. I'm going to go Underground Sea Ponder. DT Jet, Flooded Strand. Oh, I like this stuff. So, let's go Flooded Strand, DT, Jet on top. I don't want to use Ponder's ability. And I'll cast my Jet. So I feel like we win next turn. Barring another Undercity, not another Peacekeeper. We can Ritual DT Doomsday Gush. And that's a kill. So they have got a Chrome Mox though. Main deck Thalia would be a pain in the deck. That's an Archon. Oh no. What's my top card? DT. Can I Gush? A DT Flooded Strand, so there's just nothing there. Man, that was such a sick draw. That probably kills us actually. No cards in hand for the opponent. We go to 7. We go to 7 and we've got to come up with a kill this turn. I've got a Flooded Strand on top of my deck and that's not very interesting to me. Oh, I do have a Chain of Vapor actually in my deck. So, play Underground Sea. Cast DT. And I've got a Chain of Vapor, right? That's the joke. So, I get that to hand. Right, I've got a Chain of Vapor. They've got no cards in hand, so we can take 5, go to 2, chain a Vapor you, pray. That's going to be the line, I believe. And we'll be at 1 as we try and go to a Doomsday hand. If we could top deck Doomsday, that would be sick. They're going to Wasteland something. I don't think that's a big deal for us. I mean, taking me off the Ponder Manors could be clutch, actually. It's going to be a close one for sure. Right, Undercity to the bin. In your end step, I'd like to chain a Vapor or Archon of Emeria. And then they can sacrifice a land to bounce my Moxjet, but that doesn't look like it does a lot. They can sacrifice a land and bounce their Anointed Peacekeeper. That would be like pretty kind sharing. Top decks Doomsday. Flusterstorm. Not the dream. So 3 mana Ponder looks at more cards, and then it's find Doomsday off those 3. So let's do that then. So there's Ponder, Dark Ritual, Treasure Cruise, Thassa's Oracle. I think I've got to shuffle those and go for the YOLO Doomsday. That's a Preordain. So let's Gush. I mean, that's a blocker. So let's go Preordain. Force of Will's not very good. Demonic Consultation could be great. Those 2 cards look good, don't they? It's just, can I stay alive that long? So Ritual, Street Wraith to block. And then they play Archon next turn. And I'm dead on board again. And I think I'm losing this. Maybe Consult's not good, but Dig 3 times not good either in the face of an Archon. What can I Consult for? I can't cast my main deck Thoughtseize. I've been through a lot of my powerful cards. I mean, I can Consult for Thoracle on a Prayer. And maybe that's the joke, I don't know. I don't think Dig Through Time does it. I think Consult could do it. So let's bottom the Dig, top the Consult. Oh, but if I'm doing that, then maybe that's supposed to be bottom. So then it's Ritual, Street Wraith. In order to have a turn to play next turn. But that's playing in the face of an Archon. And I don't have the mana to cast an end step Consult, which means I'm just going to die to the Archon. Yeah, okay. So maybe that's supposed to be bottom. But then I don't know how I'm winning next turn either. Or they're adding white mana for human spells. Oh, that's a shame, please. Nope. Okay, so we just missed on finding the Doomsday there. That was very well-timed Archon of Emeria from the opponent. And we continue to be dead on board. Okay. There's my Doomsday. Card too low in the deck. Okay. And I can only cast 1 spell, right? This isn't 1 creature. Yeah, okay. I can only cast 1 spell. So let's go to the next one. That was not what I dreamed of, but so it goes. I don't think I want the Null-Rod. That doesn't sound real to me. I'm interested in Mindbreak Trap. Misstep can go. Daze can go. Necro can go, I guess. And I've got Forces if I want them. I've also got the Mindbreak Trap in. Yeah, I think I like this. Let's go to the next game. Okay, game 2 up against Magic Dads on mono white. This looks like the sort of hand I would love to lose with. So we've got Force of Will. I'm going to go Island Ponder. Basic Island. And I'm going to Ponder. They're powerful cards. Do I want to do that shit now? Not really. I think I'll go top, top, top. I'll draw the street race. If I get turn 1 Peacekeeper, then it doesn't matter. I think knowing I'm getting the Ancestral makes me more interested in fighting the mana sources. I hate this. I'm still going to do it. No Chrome Mox for you. No Chrome Mox for you. They've got basic planes and go. Nice. Seems good for me. So now I can untap Ancestral myself. Play a Flooded Strand. And pass. And we've got Brainstorm to look for things. We've got as a Cavern. Naming Human. It's just a Thalia? Yeah, Thalia, cool. So I'm going to get an Underground Sea. And I'm going to cast a Brainstorm. Force of Will isn't very good. Scalding Tarn, very northern, sorry. Scalding Tarn is very good. So let's do that. And then we can probably try and kill through this Thalia and not give them an opportunity. So Scalding Tarn, do I want to walk now? I think so. Yeah. So I'm going to Scalding Tarn, get my Underground Sea, cast Time Walk. And then go to the next one. Draw a Mox Jet. But we can pay a blue for Black Lotus. We can crack Black Lotus for a bunch of black mana. Cast Mox Jet. Cast Dark Ritual. Cast Doomsday. I haven't made a land drop yet, which is going to be important because I'm going to get Lotus, Ancestral, Underground Sea, Thassa's Oracle, Thassa's Oracle. Say done there. And then I want Thassa's Oracle, Lotus, Sea, Ancestral. I'll pay 2 life to get to my Ancestral. I'll Ancestral myself. I'll play Underground Sea. I'll play Lotus. I'll crack for triple blue. And I'll cast a Thoracle. And I'll win. Nice. Okay, so on the draw. Does that mean we want the negation? Just a little bit more protection against that fast mana? Not really. I've got the pushes, right? Maybe the Thoughtseize is supposed to be a force negation in this spot. Force of Will Ancestral. I've got my mana underneath me, but it's just, am I ever going to be fast enough with this hand? I think I've got to try. Ancestral's a pretty good card, you know. Let's say they play Lotus. I'm going to cycle this. That's not a blue card. Okay. There's a limit to what I'm willing to pitch to a Force of Will. March for the Worldly Light is interesting. Cavern of Souls. Naming Human. It's a turn 1 Thalia. Okay. Dark Ritual. Let's go Delta then. We might be able to fetch an Undercity here unless they play a Wasteland, right? So we take 2, we go to 16 for now. Let's hope they don't have too much of a follow-up. Oh, block a step, any ninjutsus? No, okay. No ninjas in mono white today, and that's that. Cool, so I'm going to fetch... What does this mean? I get Undercity, which is a bit of filtering for us. That's a Preordain, okay. I'll top the Preordain just in case I can bink an Archon next turn. And yeah, we'll just play the Underground Sea and pass the turn. And this Infinite Dark Ritual hand should be able to help us get through. Should be able to help us get through the Thalia, unless of course I just draw a push. And then no more plays. Nice. So I'm going to end step this Ancestral. Let's hope they're not a misstep gamer. No, they're not. Cool. Although that wasn't the best series of draws. Oh my gosh. That was awful. So I guess I Preordain. Time Walk Preordain. Okay. I'm interested in both of those. Well, I'm interested in the Time Walk for sure. So let's put the Time Walk on top and then the Preordain on top. And I'll play Basic Island. And I'll go to my end step and I'll just discard 2 fetch lands as we work our way up to this treasure cruise. I feel like they had a really exploitable draw, but we've not drawn particularly well either. If our Ancestral was slightly better, but you know, maybe my hand's a mulligan. Maybe I can't imagine mulliganing Force of Will Ancestral, you know. Okay, so discarding, I think just 2 fetch lands is fine. Flood of Strand and Tarn can go. I've got this Preordained to pitch to my Force of Will. That's why I played out the Island this turn, so it's only Strip Mine that can get me off Force of Will. And then I can cycle with Time Walk and Treasure Cruise next turn. And if they just go like Plains Archon, they've just got the fucking Cavern again. That's really annoying. That's really annoying. Okay. So I'm just gonna play my fetch land and walk, I think. It gives me 7 cards to cruise with. But I can fetch first and get Undercity. Oh, I can't. I've got Undercity in play. Alright, well that gives me the requisite cards to do this with. Do I want the Ancestral in my deck? No. I should have held that I should have held that fetch land in play. And that's my one play for the turn. Yeah, that was a massive punt, actually, because I now can't push the dude. So I have to hold the Scalding Tarn. Oh no, I've fucked this up. Like I was supposed to hold my Misty in play so that when I draw push, I can push this guy. Yeah. Okay, so I take 4, and I'm running out of time. I need to top deck like my thing really soon, my Murktide, just to hold them off. But I don't have the cards for Murktide, so White Plume that's not going to resolve. Consult. So it's preordained then. See if we can set up the Nut High Consult for our next turn. Gosh, Ponder. How many Ponders have I used? Not enough. So I'll put Ponder on the bottom. I'll put Gush on top. I'll play my Scalding Tarn, although I can't ever use it. And then we'll pass. Gush doesn't even enable Revolt, does it? Oh dear. So we definitely made some mistakes this round. Not having the Misty in play was a problem. Just because I wanted to. My fatal push isn't very good. There's a Wasteland, but they're just going to play a card. Oh, because this is the Seasoned Dungeoneer. So now, if Thalia is a creature type, which I think she is, then they can just explore onto it and I'll die. And I get to remove a land from my deck. Okay. And I go to 1. I can never remove the Archon. Oh, maybe Thalia is not a creature type. Okay, that's cool. I go to 1. I Gush end step. I have to pay 1 first and move turn Sea and Island. Thassa's Oracle Mindbreak Trap. So that doesn't help. I need to top deck Chain of Vapor. It's a Doomsday. And I can't do 2 spells in 1 turn, so I die. Sure. Good games. I definitely messed something up in the mid game there. But I don't know what specifically, or if it was just like, compounding errors. But we lose. We're on 1-1 now. Okay, round 3 up against Baltutinia. And we're on the play with an unkeepable hand with a lot of powerful cards. So we'll go to 6. And we've got Ritual. Do I want to lead on Thoughtseize, or do I want to lead on just getting battered by a Wasteland? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how hard I'm supposed to push. I feel like I Thoughtseize and protect myself with Ponder, and then have Ritual Doomsday for the future. By protect myself with Ponder, I mean keep my blue card. They kept 7. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. Good Thoughtseize art chosen by Mana Traders today, so that's cool. Oh, more of this crap. Oh, Wasteland. Yeah, see, I just get absolutely bodied straight away. Oh dear. Maybe that's why Ponder's better. But then if I ponder and miss on blue, I don't have Force of Will for Archon. I just get wrecked again, sort of thing. So I get Wastelanded here. Oh, they had a Caracas as well. That's cool. So we'll put our land in our graveyard and be very far behind. I imagine they'll play Jet Sapphire here. But they're not really going anywhere, are they? If we're honest with ourselves, they're not doing much. So what happens if I top deck a land next turn? And I just go Ritual Doomsday, Island on top, Ponder. Can't really get me that far. So they play Jet Sapphire. And then I'd have another land in my graveyard. So these two have gone. So there's one mystery card over there. Hopefully not Cavern of Souls into Archon, if we're honest with ourselves. So I feel like I was supposed to just not do what I did, to be honest with you. I would like to make a land drop here. I know. Okay. I mean, we've got Force of Will, we've got Ritual Doomsday, we've got Ponder, so we can get places if we get to mana. I'm expecting just to Caracas here. There's no point in... Oh no, they're playing the Witch Enchanter, which is really interesting to me, actually. Rather than playing Caracas, because I feel like you've just lost a threat. I mean, we're by no means dead, but we're by no means ahead either. Right? So, we've got countless ways to protect ourselves. They play the Caracas now, so they've got a billion cards in hand. They've got a second Archon of a Mirror in their graveyard. And yeah, that's that really. Black Lotus. What does that do? I mean, it casts Doomsday, right? And then I make the top card of my library Black Lotus again. So Doomsday, I want a Lotus. So I'm going to Lotus. I want Ancestral. I want Sapphire. I want a basic island. And I want 2 Thassa's Oracles. Yeah, that's going to be my pile. Oh, that's all of my cards. So I draw Lotus, I cast Ponder, I Ancestral the rest of my cards and win. Sure, man. That's going to have to be the pile, I think. Yep. So I draw for the turn. It's a Black Lotus. And I Ponder, yeah, so we won... I guess it doesn't matter. Thoracle on the bottom. And Sapphire, Island, Ancestral, Lotus. So I'm going to draw a card, I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to Ancestral for all of the rest. And if they play something that I can't beat exactly next turn now, then it's upsetting. Seasoned Dungeoneer doesn't do anything, right? No, yeah, that's just blank cardboard at this point in the game. And then they're going to get a Basic Plains. We know about Basic Plains and Wasteland. They play the Wasteland. And we're going to get away with one here, I feel like. So Lotus. Bunch of blue mana. Ponder. And then cards in an order with Ancestral on top. I don't want to shuffle. And then we'll Ancestral our other 3 cards. And then we can just play basic island. Sure, I'll cast a Sapphire. Why not? And now we'll cast a Thassa's Oracle. And that's a game. So that was fortuitous that we eventually drew our land. On the draw, I think I'm actually interested in the negation this time round. And these pushes. I think I'm supposed to cut the Thoughtseize, the Daze, the Misstep, the Necro. What did I cut last time as well? Chain of Wave's got the 2 Flusters, there we go. So then I've got just an additional 2 cards to fight the fast mana. The Murktide is an alternative win condition. And the pushes, which in this matchup I feel like I wish they were cut downs, but I appreciate the pushes are better elsewhere when cut down doesn't work. But yeah, they're my thoughts and opinions. We're sideboarding slightly differently than last time as we learn as we go. Okay, this looks like a good keep. We've got double Force of Will for fast mana. We've got Fatal Push for scary cards. And a Ponder to back it all up with. They kept 7, which I'm not particularly excited about. Basic Plains, interesting. Mox Emerald. I think that's fine. And then we can Force of Will Athalia. Well, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so they've slow rolled something, so maybe I was supposed to fight that Emerald anyway, because now they're just going to... now they're just going to go Cavern Archon. Am I interested in more pushes? I guess I am. Maybe I'm not very good at resolving preordains. Maybe that's the leak we found today. Yeah, Cavern of Souls. Archon. So now I need to find a way of losing a permanent, which could just be their Wasteland. So I draw Fatal Push here. I'm going to play Undercity. That's a Mindbreak Trap, which I'm no longer interested in. Do I want to preordain or ponder? I think I do, because I want to find those lands. There we go. Do I wish I'd led on this? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't care about Moxjet at the moment. I care about having a Misty Rainforest in my hand. We might be able to fight something in the future. By that I mean, like right now, if they have no more caverns, we can fight their follow-ups. Like if this is a White Plume, yeah. I think pitching Force is smart. Because then I'll get my other land and then I can cast Preordain this turn. Yeah. I think this is a matchup that I need to learn how to navigate if I'm going to register Doomsday ever again. I might need to actually read about it. They've cast their spell, I've cast my spell. We're floating Polluted Delta, I think. And then we can cast Preordain, and if they from here on out, if they ever wasteland me, I'm going to have push up for that wasteland. So I'm not sure what we're waiting on here, seeing as they can't cast spells. I mean, they can play lands, right? So that's another thing that they can do. And in comes the Arcanoclast. So let's cast Preordain. Oh, consult's exciting. So I'm going to bottom the jet. I'm going to top the consult. I'm going to play the delta tapped. So there's no way of knowing my order, is there? Wasteland. Chalice on 2. I've got Chain of Vapor in my deck. That's fine. Man, Chain of Vapor's clutch, isn't it? Good grief. But we've got to find it. You know? Dark Ritual wasn't the dream. I'm going to fetch an island. So basic island. Push your guy. Play an untapped Misty. But we don't have anything to do with that at the moment. The One Ring. Holy moly. Opponent's kind of going for it over there. We've got to hold this Misty in play, I imagine. And they draw a card, okay. How bad is Consult for Murktide here? They got a tap land. I think Consult for Murktide is maniacal, to be honest with you. Street Wraith. I will cycle that. Negation. Not great. Okay. It could be a tough one. They draw 2 cards off the ring. They're at 6 cards in hand. They can double arc on me this turn, if they're that way inclined. And whatever I do, I have to go through a Chain of Vapor as well. This looks like another... No, it's just a Witch Enchanter. Okay. I mean, if that's what you're playing, then that's quite cool for us, right? And then they'll wasteland all my lands, and we'll put it in the graveyard for them. Nice. There's only where I stand on consulting for stuff at the moment. Fatal Push, again. If I fetch Underground Sea, consult for Doomsday. Push your guy. Ritual. Maybe that's just supposed to be where I'm at. You know, untap Ancestral. Bounce your Chalice. Yeah, maybe that's actually the joke. How many Doomsdays have I seen so far? Absolutely 0. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go about as deep as I can into this line, I think. So Ritual, Consult, Doomsday. $12 cards. Shit. Thassa's Oracle. Nice story. So we kill ourselves. Murktide, yeah. Okay, so we're just dead. Thoracle and Thoracle have gone. Cool. And Chain of Vapor. So maybe that was horrific. Never mind. Oh, hang on. That wasn't a match. Sweet. So, well, that was the match. I've got to do that again. Ooh. Do I think anything differently? Do I want Norrod on the play? Not especially. I think I like the sideboarding strategy. I feel like that console line could be stupid now that I've done it, but my hand wasn't going anywhere. And I'm I'm not beating the third activation of the One Ring, in my opinion. So I think it's fine to push, but maybe it's really bad because my pile must go through a Chain of Vapor. Right, it's going to have to be... So the joke there was, I kill your guy, I make a pile, and it's going to be Ancestral, Chain, Lotus. So yeah, so untap, draw Ancestral myself, draw Chain of Vapor, Lotus, Thassa's Oracle, and win. That was my idea. Whether that was an idea that ever comes off, I don't know. It might be an idea, but I need to have Chain of Vapor being like... I need Doomsday to be in like the top 4 after sort of thing, because maybe I'm relying on too many cards there. I don't know. Anyway, Battle is having a think, so let's wait for him. Okay, here we go. Game 3 on the play. Hands crap. Hands busted. Okay. So I like Gush more than I like Walk. I like Punt Away Street Wraith quite quickly. I might do that immediately, actually. Is that true? Probably. Probably true. Although Time Walk can be very good just to make a land drop, can't it? Okay, so I actually mulliganed, so I'm going to keep this and just bottom the Street Wraith, I think. They kept 7 again, is that true? Let's chat, I want game log. Oh no, they've mulliganed to 5, that's good for me. Just means I won't have quite as many resources to combat us with. But it's interesting that Chalice on 2, right? I feel like I'd struggle more making a Doomsday pile myself with Chalice on 0. Just because I've not had to do that before. So they've mulliganed to 5 and they're having a little ponder. Hopefully they mulligan to 4. Okay, they've kept on 5, they've put 2 on the bottom. I say it's good for me, but they are just going to immediately get 2 cards out of me, probably. And it's interesting here, because I really want to get the Undercity for a bit of filtering. But the Undercity is quite weak with Gush. So, there's that. Chalice on 0. I think I might fight that. I don't think I'm smart enough to build that pile. Oh, actually, I've just thought of it. Oh well. I've got a strip mine. Okay. So I guess I don't do that and I use Gush to counter strip mine. Force negation. So I have to... How do I do this? This game's so hard, man. DT for Doomsday. Well, maybe it's just supposed to be DT for Ancestral. Oh dear, I hate my Force of Will now. So I fetch, and then I hold priority and I fetch again. I never have 2 islands in play. Then I DT for Ancestral. No, so I'm just going to DT for Ancestral. Give me an Underground Sea. Fetch again. And if they let this resolve, it's great for us, yeah. So now I can DT for Ancestral. And I can counter their strip mine with Gush. But maybe they're trying to just get to 3 mana. Yeah, Cavern of Souls. Don't name Archon. You named Archon. I hate you. Cool, so that's really bad. For me. I don't like gushing there in response. I think that sounds horrible. I do like Ancestraling here, though. So Street Wraith, which I will just cycle immediately, I guess, because I want to push. Probe, play Underground Sea. And I can just gush in response to their Strip Mine. Float it back and gush in response, I guess, is going to be my line. Float it black, gush in response. Oh, but gush isn't very good at enabling revolt, is it, if we're honest with ourselves? There's a consult, though. And they've got tap land. They've got 2 cards in hand. They've got 1 card in hand. I've already played a spell this turn, haven't I? So I can't do anything. Yeah, I'm not massively clever. Street Wraith. I think I want to ponder. Sapphire Trap, Preordain, and I think I want to shuffle. It's a basic island, which I'm going to hold on to for a moment. I'm just going to discard this negation. I don't think that's doing anything, although I just remembered the one ring exists in their deck. Next turn I can Preordain plus dig through time. Right, Street Wraith again. So it's Preordain. Ponder Moxjet. No, I'm not interested in you either. Fatal Push. Cool. Getting somewhere. So we can dig. That's a Chrome Mox. Let's just see what they're doing first. I think there's a Moxjet fairly low down in my deck, but I don't know if that's information I want to use. No, that's just... Okay, so they're going to hit me for 2. Yeah, they've played Death Spell, right? So I go to 9. And then I dig. Random cards that aren't important. What do I have? Ritual Doomsday. Fetch land. Fetch land's really good. I like fetch land a lot. I think I like Doomsday as a just in case. So that's his Oracle. So let's probe you. I'll pay the mana. I like the life points at the moment. Seasoned Dungeoneer. So play Scalding Tarn. Discard Street Wraith. Doomsday Street Wraith, because we win next turn, right? There's nothing they can do. No, let's discard Doomsday because I can double cycle for Force of Will if they play a Chalice on 2. If they play a Seasoned Dungeoneer, then I believe it's over. Even if I don't have another Underground Sea, I've still got the mana. They get Plains, they attack me for 2, I go to 7, I go to 6, and then I win. I don't feel like I deserved this one. This feels like one of those games that has just passed me by, you know? And here we are. So let's fetch. Grab an Underground Sea. Push your Archon of Emeria. Play an Underground Sea. Cast a Thassa's Oracle. Thassa's Oracle resolves. Consult happens. And we get away with one. Abandon hope. Yoink. Cool. That felt like thievery, if I'm honest with you. But we filtered our cards, we didn't die, we came up with a plan, and we executed it. So, maybe that's just how the victories against Mono White feel. Or maybe that's just how victories feel when you're trying to learn something new. Who knows? Let's go to round 4. Okay, team, round 4 up against Aero. He's got a little cat. It's like the magic version of Umbreon. Cleopatra and one kitty. Cool stuff. I don't know how I feel about this hand. I don't know what my opponent plays. I've got some powerful cards. I've also got 2 Flusterstorms in a daze. What do you think? I'm on the draw. I'm dead to everything. But I do have a Consult in my hand, which kind of makes me happy. I've got Undercity to filter with. I'm a ritual away from glory, and by glory I mean trying to make a pass to turn pile. Opponent hasn't revealed Allurus, which means Mono White, Dual, Dredge, Breach. They begin the game with 7 cards in hand. I feel like I'm supposed to ship this. This looks powerful. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to bottom Undercity Sewers. And if nothing else, we can overload their permission, right? With Island Ancestral. Gets countered, Lotus Necro, draw 47. Okay, well, maybe the secret's out. They probe me. 7 cards in hand still. Makes me think it's more likely a breach list than anything else, because probe in Mono White? Maybe. Maybe they do that. Maybe they're that way inclined these days. Can you imagine a needle here? Wasteland, funny stuff. Wasteland Ruby. Oh, the Shops? No, Shops doesn't do this. Some Tinker nonsense. I've got no idea what's going on. Ponder. I'm going to Ancestral myself. Off of a basic island. One of those. Yep, please. Ding dong. Sure, fuck it. Do they have a Force of Will? No. Okay, I've got a lot of cards in my hand already. What are they playing? Bug? Bug wouldn't play a Ruby. I don't know. Maybe Bug does play a Ruby. Just some Tinker nonsense. How many cards do I want? 4? Maybe 5? Maybe 4. Yeah, I think 4's nice. And then we need to bear in mind that we've got no mana. Force of Will is a great pickup. Underground Sea is interesting. Street Wraith is a Street Wraith. And Consult is gas. So, clean up. I'm going to discard my Street Wraith today. I'm less interested in my Ponder, and I've got to do one more discard, which I think is going to be the Undercity. I think the Undercity is too slow. Those cards get exiled. We can do a bit more filtering over the coming weeks and months, and then that's cool because I don't know how I'm winning. So, I mean, I'm just going to overpower them with Necro. But how do we sideboard against Wasteland, Mox, Probe You. It makes me think they're going to be on like a whole breacher list, if I'm honest. Is that nonsense though? It's the probe that's throwing me off. Like if you go Wasteland, Mox, Concede, I'd probably try and put you on shops. I feel like I want to bring in the Murktide as a bit of a duke. And I think I'm happy without the days on the draw. It's like so broad, yet so like no Lurus, can't be dual, can't be unlikely to be mono white. Really struggling for it to be shops. So I'm just really leaning into it being a whole breacher PO list at this point. Which means I want to hedge a couple of pushes for a whole breacher. Thoughtseize seems good. I've already dropped a days. Street Wraith I don't like the idea of cutting. Fluster Chain. I'm going to cut a Preordain and a Vampiric Tutor. That's how I'm going to go. But we can refine this in game 3, right? Gush, Preordain, Force of Will, Pitching Chain of Vapor, some other cards. Yeah, this seems fine. It seems fine. It's slow, it's not particularly fast, but it's got a few bits of protection. It's got a 0 mana draw if I find a quick Doomsday. So Volcanic Island, yeah, sure. So it's that sort of nonsense that I said, I think. Tinker stuff. Is this Upkeep Ancestral? No. Doomsday off the top is quite a nice one. I'm just going to Island Preordain and just try and find a Ritual or a Lotus. There's 5 of them in the deck, you know, so it shouldn't be the end of the world to come up with. Next turn's probably the sort of turn where we have to deal with the concept of I'll probably just keep the Ponder and bottom the Doomsday. Next turn's probably going to be the point where we have to contend with whole breachers as a concept. Because this was quite a slow hand from them, so maybe it's just like a Flusterstorm hand. Scalding Tarn. Brainstorm. I don't want to fight that. I might fight a Lotus from them here. No, nothing. Okay, so they showed us a Wasteland game 1. Another problem is Brain Freeze, right? So let's ponder. How do you beat Brain Freeze if you play Doomsday? Let's shuffle with Ponder. Draw another Murktide Regent. Another Murktide Regent. Draw a Murktide Regent. I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith. And be disappointed. Okay. Murktide could be cool. End step we're going to fetch for Undercity. They're going to fetch Upkeep. So end step we're going to go for, a Tropical Island. So not... We're just getting like 4 colour Ren and 6s or something. But this is a whole breacher. Null Rod, sure. I can build a pile. And they've done this whole thing always having 1 mana available, right? So I'm pretty sure we're up against a Flusterstorm. Let's get an Undercity. I've got a Chain of Vapor as well if I'm really that scared. Flusterstorm of my own. Do I care? Yeah. I would like a Flusterstorm, thank you. So what I think I'm actually going to do is I think I'm just going to float some mana, cast Gush, play a land, and cast a Murktide Regent. Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's go blue, and cast Gush. Although they could be like a heavy Pyroblast deck as well, couldn't they? I haven't made a land drop yet. They are fetching. So it looks like we're going to get a little fight over the Murky Boy. Yeah, it's big on Pyroblasts. Or maybe just the Flusterstorm is here. And if it's a Fluster, it's a Fluster. It's a Pyroblast. So I do feel like I want to fight this. And I'm going to force pitching Chain of Vapor. I don't like that actually, but I've already paid the life. I wish I'd Flustered. I wish I'd Flustered. Sapphire doesn't do anything. Misstep's a really good draw. I do want a mana left over after this, because I want to be able to Fluster back on a Daze or something. So let's just go Murktide. Eat the instants and sorceries. And the Street Wraith, I guess. And now I've got Fluster Misstep up. For future Pyroblasts. And we've just made the game about something else. Oath of Druids. That's fucked up. Oh, so it's Pyroblast Oath. Okay. I just exiled my Chain of Vapor. I mean, I can trade with an Atraxa. No reason to fetch at any point, but I'm going to fetch now. I've got the Undercity in hand. That's Underground Sea. Okay, that was annoying, not knowing what they're doing. Let's cast Preordain. These cards are useless at this point. So Necropotence. So I'm going to get him for my 7. And I'm going to hope they're picking up Pyrogoyfs and not. Okay, so I don't want this in my deck anymore. Oath triggers. Pyrogoyf. Okay. That's not an Atraxa. That's not an Atraxa. I can continue to fight Pyroblasts fairly well, but I am dead if they give me a creature. Norod's a wild one. Is it good against us? I'm going to pay 2 life. And if they fight back, then my Fluster's good. They play an Orchard. Okay, so I'm dead next turn. So I can't fetch, I can't attack. Another Doomsday. And if they mill well, then I also lose. Ah, fuck. Let's just play Undercity then, I guess. Mox Jet. There's already a Mox in a graveyard. Mox Jet doesn't do anything. There's no rod in play. Okay, Oath of Druids. I feel like I should be able to beat Oath of Druids as the gamer. Leaves your graveyard. That's distressing. I want it to be goes to exile. So I get another Pyrogoyf. I get 2 triggers. The Goyfs didn't grow. I go to 1. Four Pyroblast deck. And they've got a Ponder. Okay. So how do I win? Wasteland's my sea. They've got 2 cards in hand. Right. So maybe I just don't win this game. Dark Ritual Doomsday go to 0. Dark Ritual Necro doesn't help. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's that. Okay. We learnt. What did I have in my deck? I had Fatal Push, which seems loose. I don't want that. I want Force and Negation. I want Flusterstorm. I want Duress. I want Vamp. And I want Daze. So that's 5 cards. That's quite a lot of sideboarding. I also cut a Preordain earlier. So Vamp was in my main deck. Let's reset to there. 64. So then how do I get additional... Actually, I'm not big on Fluster. So Daze is original deck as well. And Murktide wasn't. I'm fine without Murktide being in my deck, I think. 62. Duress and Negation coming in. They're playing quite a controlling list, so maybe Daze is just not it, and maybe Vamp is just not it, and we just have Negation, Duress. Do I want Leyline of the Void? I've got 2 Delve spells, and then your Pyroglyphs are tiny. That could be some amount of technology. I don't think it's good technology, though. So let's just press submit. And let's just try and combo them. They're an Oath deck. We should be able to push through. I like this hand. I'm going to lead on Mox Duress and decide whether I want the Flusterstorm up or not. I'm likely just fetching basic island. And if they Force of Will this, then I will Fluster back. Because then they'll have 3 cards left in their hand after forcing my Duress. So I took a mulligan. Ancestral Force, Oko Walk. Sure, so let's take Ancestral. And they got Trop Orchard as their lands, which means I've probably got some license to just fetch Underground Sea. And I'll cast a Ponder. If they top deck Wasteland, I will be sad. Show me your hand again. Force Oko Walk. They've got a Time Walk. So I'm interested in having Force of Will in my hand now. Drawing a Flooded Strand and then winning the game next turn. They've got a Time Walk. So next time we draw Flooded Strand, if we don't get wasted, we win. And as long as they didn't draw, a Flusterstorm of their own, right? Let's go Flooded Strand. We're just going to be as aggressive as we can be. Doomsday. You Force, I Force. I Street Wraith, I Gush. I win. Force pitching Oko. Force pitching Fluster. We know they're holding Time Walk. Doomsday gets through. I want Gush. Lotus. So wait, so Gush, Lotus, Ancestral. No, because that's too many cards. So I'm going to Street Wraith to 4. I'm going to Gush to 2. Those 2 cards I'd like them to be Thassa's Oracle. Well, it's got to be Lotus Thoracle. It could be Lotus Probe. No, it couldn't. Yeah, no, so I'm just going to stack my deck in the way I've been doing. With, multiple cards. Maybe I'll chuck a misstep in there for vibes. Gush into Lotus Thoracle. I've got 2 cards. Play a land, pray. I think that seems good. So there's a very good chance they're dying this turn, right? I draw a card, I gush into Lotus Thoracle, my deck is Misstep Thoracle? Yeah. I've finished searching my deck. And the misstep is for the Pyroblast. So I don't think the order of the bottom 2 matters. This ordering doesn't matter. Gush on top. Pay 2 life. That was aggressively F6'd, if anything. 1, 2. Cast this. Blue, blue, blue. And I'll put a Thassa's Oracle on top of my deck. And that's a match. I feel like we're supposed to be good against like the normal sort of Oath of Druids deck, because they're a control deck that's put 8 random cards in their deck sort of thing. Which we just have to counter. But then against this, 4 Pyroblast, Pyrogoyf Oath list, I don't know. But that puts us at 3-1 now, right? Yeah, that's quite nice. I'll see you for the next round. Okie dokie, round 5, I think. We're up against Will Split, which is a funny name. Well done, William. We're on the play, and we've got this hand here. What do you think? I've got a slow Doomsday with some protection against an unknown opponent. And no card draw. I'm not enamored by it, but I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to play Undercity on 1, get wasted, and then lose. That's roughly my plan going into this. Maybe because this is an Undercity, I'm supposed to actually take a mulligan or something. Or maybe I'm just supposed to have cantrips in my hand. Force of Will. Do I want another Force of Will? I'm not massively fussed, I don't think. I'd rather a Ponder. So let's get rid of that. Make our hand look scary. I don't need these counter spells. I don't know what you've got. You've not made a play, but I certainly don't need these. Pretty tough. Okay, so Mana Crypt. You got it. Chrome Mox. You haven't got it. Yeah. Try and keep him off the white, I guess. Get rid of the Fluster. Another mono white gamer. And that's a Archon of Emeria. So that's not great. That's not great. Okay. Scoring ton. You okay? I don't know how to play this game now. Maybe I'm just dead. What's that Force of Will awful if I'm letting the Mana Crypt get through? If I'm letting Mana Crypt go and getting scared by Chrome Mox, but I don't know what they're on. I certainly can't let I don't know. Because if I just let them make the land drop and they've got a cavern, then it's just horrible, right? So I'm going to take so much damage. Do I want to cycle a Street Wraith? I guess so. No, thank you. So I guess we go Underground Sea. I take 5. I get to filter slightly. I go to 10. They're playing some cards. We're just aggressively dead. Okay, let's just go to the next one. I can't win this. Wait, so can I win this? They attack me for 5. I go to 10. I untap. I draw exactly Chain of Vapor. I bounce it. I fetch. I take 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at 1. I can't cast Doomsday. Okay. Let's go to the next game. So in this game, I do want that Murktide Regent. I do want the trap for sure. And I want the pushes. I don't want the Necro. My life's under too much duress. The Flusterstorms actually don't have targets, and Misstep is loose at best. And then I feel like Daze has been the card I've been cutting in this spot. Or maybe it's the Thoughtseize. Keep the Daze because they... Yeah, maybe Daze is actually cracked because they don't play a land before they roll out their Moxen, right? I'm very unsure about this Null Rod, but I think this Null Rod's just only for Jewel. I'm not attached to my opinions being correct either. I'm happy if someone wants to tell me that my sideboarding's horrible. Thoughtseize. How do I feel about Thoughtseize? I mean, Thoughtseize is such a clean answer to the Archon, isn't it? So maybe it's like Thoughtseize goes... and I just drop Thoughtseize Daze and I drop like a Preordain, or I just have to cope with what I submitted. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, so I've got the Thoughtseize in my deck. Okay. A bit more mono white than I wanted to face in a day, if I'm honest with you. Why is mono white so popular at the moment? Is it actually good? I'm going to keep this hand. I'm just going to... Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, maybe I'm just going to actually meme and just play a Flooded Strand. Although one of these street races is free, isn't it? One of these street races are a free cycle, and then... I've got mulligan to 5, okay. So there's a chance our Mind Break Trap's not actually so good. I'm just going to cycle a Street Wraith now. The other one I want to hold for post-Doomsday, and now I'll play this Flooded Strand and hold for a second. Because if they go turn 1 Archon without triggering the trap, then I can fetch and push. Chrome Mox is fine. So they are going to activate my trap card. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Anointed Peacekeeper. No, thank you. Okay, and now I can get the Undercity and ponder for a land. Does Doomsday kill from here? Yes, I think so. So Undercity, Ritual, Doomsday, Street Wraith into an island, ponder into a gush and kill from there? Yeah. That makes sense. So let's hope there's a Doomsday on top of our deck when we shuffle now. And they've got 1 card. If there's not Doomsday on top, then we just ponder and say some prayers and stuff. Right, Undercity Sewers. The Resolution. I'll put that on top. Because I think I said that wins. I think I said that wins. So, Dark Ritual. Doomsday. So, I want Gush. Island. So Island's my top card. Lotus. Thoracle. Thoracle's too slow. That doesn't work. So Thoracle Sapphire then. Well, no, that doesn't do anything either, does it? How far in my deck am I getting? Ponder into Island. Well, Street Wraith into Island. Ponder into Gush. Crack 2. Crack Lotus. But I'm going to gush into... Yeah, I'm going to gush into Lotus Thoracle. So 1, 2, 3 cards have been selected, and now I've got 2 cards which almost don't matter, but they can be Thoracle Sapphire. Oh no, they can't. They can just be Thoracle. But I'm not going to have any lands to play. I don't know. I'm going to say done now. Everyone happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Cool. Thanks for checking. So, Thoracle, Lotus, Gush, Island. Pay 2 life. But Ponder into Gush into Lotus Thoracle should be good. Ponder. Thoracle. Lotus. Gush. Use Ponder's ability? No. And then we'll draw 2 cards. So yeah, my pile's actually too slow to cast another Thoracle. So that last card in my hand is actually my last card in my pile is actually just not playable. So was there a way of it being better? I don't know. So I've got 1 card. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a better pile, but days on the draw can certainly go. Does that mean I want negation? Or do I just want a preordain? I mean, I'm getting taxed so heavily that maybe negation's better than preordain. Let's play the negation and go with the fight mana plan. I'll keep the Thoughtseize just in case they're on a slow ball hand. Or if we manage to negate something and then Thoughtseize them. Oh, this hand looks cool. I'm into this. I've heard this card's powerful. To be honest, Street Wraith is pretty good as well. Yeah, and we've possibly got the early doors Murktide, which can really hamper their game plan. I think here I'm just supposed to be pitching Thoracle to Force of Will to fight their first white source. But that hasn't been panning out so perfectly either. So who knows? We'll see what happens. I will keep this though. Because at the very worst I'm going to have Flooded Strand for Ancestral. Okay, opponent has gone to 5. So hopefully we can Force of Will them, then bury them in cards. Ancient Tomb, Norod. I'm pretty confident in my ability to play through a Norod. Am I confident that they don't have... Like, I'm growing in confidence, you know, in this deck. But am I confident that they don't have a Cavern in hand? No. Do I want to cycle a Street Wraith? Yes. A Ponder. So maybe I do fight this. Because it's one of the few things I'll be able to fight all day, isn't it? So there, let's get rid of that. Just in case I want a quick, nice aggro pile. It also fuels the Murktide quite nicely. Brainstorm. So I'm just going to get basic Island and Ancestral myself now, I think. I'm not going to lie, a lot of these plays, I think them, I make them, and then I regret them immediately. So that's a Sapphire. And I will Ponder immediately. See if I can find some more permission. Force and Negation is technically permission. Use Ponder's ability. No, because I've got Preordain on top as well. So I can Brainstorm, Preordain, cycle stuff. I've got Thoracle down there if I want one. And I can Murktide next turn if they've got an Archon. If this is an Archon, then I'll be like slightly displeased, but I feel like fighting the Norod means we played around the Cavern, right? Soaring. Let's just really try and body them, I think. I think just no mana for you, not today. Play a Murktide and play it as big as I possibly can. They've got 2 cards left. We can Brainstorm, fetch Murktide and see if we can come up with some permission or just to kill or something. I'm glad I counted that. I'm glad I counted that Norod now that my whole game plan is like this. Right, DT. So I don't want. Maybe I'll just put back Thassa's Oracle, Chain of Vapor. I didn't mean to tap that land. And I'm actually just going to play the Murktide. And then in the future I can come up with something. So Brainstorm. I've just played so many cards this game. Negation, Ponder, Force. Yeah, sure, and Ancestral as well. And then next turn, if this doesn't get dealt with, they die next turn. And if it does get dealt with, I've got a DT for Consult. Plus a Time Walk. What's the top card of my deck? Oh, I don't know, I fetched. So like land is like the best draw next turn. They have tapped the mana. And they got a White Plume. Okay, so we should win now. Unless they're like randomly holding a Plough and they're getting Plains for Plough. But then if I top deck a land, I still win as well. Plains. But I don't think they can be holding a Plough, if I'm genuinely honest with you. I don't think that's going to be in their deck. You've got a Murktide, congratulations. Force of Will? Thoughtseize. So I can DT Lotus, Thoughtseize, Time Walk. But I think just casting the walk and seeing what happens is pretty good. Attack you. Get the initiative, attack you. You're at 3. No, thank you. And we win the match. Cool. The Murktide tech, and then we had like maybe not the fastest kill in the world. Like next turn I get to Lost Well. If that's if they answer this, but yeah, I didn't think they could. Right, see you for the next one. Okie dokie, now it's going into the last round. I think we're going to be in a clean winning situation because I have got some of the shittest breakers out there, really. 46.6%, so we've really started a downward spiral for each of our opponents, it looks like. We've got some powerful wizards to come up against over here. Okay, so on the draw against Storm Guy is me. I wonder if that's an indication as to what they're going to play. Let's hope some aggressive mulligans on it. It's Lurus, which I don't think is good for us, but we'll do our best. We've got Force of Will, we've got Thoughtseize to make our way through their permission. They look like they've got a nice turn 1 play for us here. Tundra. Soaring. I think Soaring's fine. 5 cards over there. And a Delta for us. How hard do I want to get wasted? I think quite hard in exchange for a Thoughtseize. But I don't think I'll protect my Thoughtseize. Do I even want to play Thoughtseize? I've already fetched. But if I wasn't going to Thoughtseize, I would have rather got a basic island. I don't like this play, but I'm going to just throw it out there. Ooh. So balance, PO, Spell Pierce, Portable Hole. I don't think I care about Spell Pierce. I feel like we should be able to play around that. But maybe it's just better to take that so that we know we're winning counter battles. So what they're doing next turn, they're buying Lurus to their hand, playing a Portable Hole to set up a PO. I'm going to take the Spell Pierce and assume that I can win counter battles. Portable Hole is not a piece of paper against us, really, is it? So that's the Misty, and I expect this just to be a buy Lurus turn. You've got 4 cards in hand. I mean, PO for 1 is really underwhelming. Holding the Street Wraith because I just don't think we need it right now. Like it's fine being the card that it is. So this is going to be like the list Justin was on for Eternal Weekends and stuff, I think. An Oswald Biddlefender style deck. They've drawn something to give them some pause though. And now they're fetching. We took their Spell Pierce, so we should be able to win at battle if they put one forwards. Maybe it's just going to be actually just play a balance and twist me a bunch. Yeah, you can have the vamp. That's fine. I still like my Street Wraith as a Street Wraith. They can't draw a card this turn. They can just vamp and play Lurus. Or draw Lurus to their hand. They're playing balance. Okay. So you're holding Portable Hole in PO. So we'll force this. We'll force this and pitch the Chain of Vapor. We know they've vamped. So we can walk into Preordain looking for an answer to something. Flusterstorm might be an answer to something, but I think I'm just going to Time Walk to start with. I'll just get another C. We're already exposed to Wasteland. So now let's Time Walk. Take another turn. Thassa's Oracle. Let's cast Preordain then. Doomsday, Thassa's Oracle. I don't really want either of those. Maybe I do want the Doomsday. It seems so bad. Force of Will. I'm going to cycle this. Moxjet. I'd love to draw Doomsday. I'm just so low on resources now. Let's just play a Jet. Oh, I shouldn't have played a Jet. They're holding Portable Hole. Okay, we've made some mistakes. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. They did Ancestral though. No, they didn't Ancestral. They vamped. I'm displeased with my play. Ancestrals yourself. Holding PO Portable Hole. Now they're going to hold my... So they're just holding a PO. Balance is gone. They haven't bought Lurus yet. Yeah, that was so stupid. Scalding Tarn. Okay. They've got 2 cards in hand. One of them's a PO. They can PO for 2 here. That gives me a Mox Jet, but that's not really scary, right? And they can always take the Mox Jet back. That was a horrifying draw. And now you just PO for 2, right? Yeah. And now you've got 4 cards and I've got 1 card. I've not really used my cards very well this game though. Replays Soul Ring back to us. We're going to Undercity for a Prayer and a Dream. Street Wraith. I don't need that. I did bin it, but Force of Will. Can I sit on Force of Will in the face of Saga? Not really. Do I want to filter with Thassa's Oracle? I guess so. I shouldn't have put that Doomsday down. I shouldn't have played my thing. Necropotence, 9 life points, getting battered by Saga on the way through. Or Ponder. A nice Ponder. So how does that work? I pass the turn to them. They do some nonsense. I play Necro. I pass the turn to them. I pay 6 life to go to 3, leaving Force of Will Doomsday available. I get battered. I block. I die to Plow or Portable Hole. But I might have a Force of Will online. So it is Necro playable. I've got to survive so many turns. They just drew 2. They can have 4 cards in hand. I don't know any of them. No, I do. I know one of them's a portable hole. Okay, so my Thoracle is not in play. So Necro's awful. So then we'd rather ponder to look for like an Ancestral or something. Okay. Or dig through time. Yeah, I've played this game really badly. I do have a Null Rod post board, which kind of might be good against a Paradoxal Outcome deck. Chain of Vapor's gone, so even if they portable hole my Thassa's Oracle, that doesn't help anyone. They're taking the Jet anyway. Which makes me wish I had my Necro back. I'm going to ponder. I don't think you can stop me. Ancestral Doomsday Straight Oath. Okay. These cards are powerful. I guess I fire off the Ancestral now. I don't actually want to use Ponder's ability. I guess I fire off the Ancestral now. Yeah, because if my bottom card of those next 2 is a Ritual, then I win. They're paying costs. Plus the Storm. Okay. So now I lose, is that right? Can't pay 3, unfortunately. Two tokens. And I'm too slow, yeah. I'm just too slow now. So I know the top card of my deck is a Doomsday. This should be a Surveil land, I imagine. Yeah, they've got the Archive. Yeah, kind of gifted them this one, I feel like. And now they make a token. So I take 3, 4, 5. I go to 4, and I'm just dead next turn. If they make a token. If they don't make a token, then I think I'm even more concerned about what's going on over there. Where did I go wrong? I fought over something. I fought over Ancestral. So they make 2 tokens, and that really puts us in the bin. I now can't win. Because I can't take 2 hits from constructs, and to win this game I have to take 2 hits from constructs. And they get a Lotus. They can go Lurrus, Lotus, Lurrus, Lotus, Lurrus, Lotus. Ruby. And if I chump block here, I don't have that Street Wraith in my hand. So let's go to a new game. Okay. Okay. So what tools do we have for this? We've got the Null Rod, which I'm actually interested in today. I'm interested in Duress. I'm probably not interested in Flusterstorm, but I am interested in Negation and Trap. I don't know about the Trap. Am I interested in the Murktide Duke and like stuff like Fatal Push for Fiddlebender and that sort of thing? I don't think so. But I am interested in the Murktides. I think they're the 4 cards I have got in my mind. Chain of Vapor looks like it could be some sort of technology against them. Daze, I just don't want. Thoughtseize, I do want. Necro's good. Misstep and Fluster both seem good. So I need 3 cuts from here. My lands are probably fine, so I'm going to cut an island. I am interested in this Chain of Vapor. Maybe I can trim like a Preordain. And then Thoughtseize or Vamp. I guess Vamp. Whilst they are like a PoE style thing, they're still going to be like, you know, a Lurrus style vibe. The Gnarled Knight might not be like fantastic sort of thing, especially into the face of a portable hull. What does this do? Probe you, cycle a bunch of crap. Yeah, cool. Keep. They've got a Lurus. I've got an upkeep. So let's probe them. Right, Lurian revealed, Mox Pearl, Manifold Key, Ancestral Tundra, Scalding Tarn, Dress Down. How do you want to play this? I don't think we can ponder. I think we have to just cycle a Street Wraith for a land. That is technically a land. Okay, we'll Undercity. That's a Consult. And I think I'm going to keep that because I think that's going to be a nice way to build into the game. I need to hold up blue this turn in face of this Ancestral. And then I can Thoughtseize them next turn and take like a Dress Down or something. So Tundra, Mox Pearl, Manifold Key. No Manifold Key. Okay, they've got a Manifold Key. They're going to use my Sapphire upkeep. No, they're not. So Thoughtseize? Thoughtseize means I'm fighting over Ancestral on my turn, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm going to Ponder. Yeah, you're not my dad. DT Brainstorm Underground Sea. We need to come up with an answer to this Dress Down. Use Ponder's ability, no. So now I'm probably happy to fire off this Thoughtseize. But do I want to Ritual into this Thoughtseize? Ritual, Thoughtseize, cycle Street Wraith DT, get a Thassa's Oracle, have a Flusterstorm up for your Ancestral, Thoughtseize your Dress Down, untap, cross our fingers and win. That makes sense to me, right? Yeah, let's pay 2 life. Let's get our DT to hand. And let's go Ritual. Thoughtseize you. You play Ancestral, I fluster it. So fluster that. Take your Dress Down. DT will resolve for... Thoughtseize will resolve and we'll take the Dress Down. DT will resolve and we'll take the... We'll get the Thoracle. Thoughtseize resolves. Merchant Scroll, Manifold Key. So next turn is Merchant Scroll for... Ancestral. No, they can't get Ancestral. Merchant Scroll for Force of Will, maybe? Let's take Dress Down. What can they Merchant Scroll for? What can I DT for? I can DT for my own Ancestral. That's a Sapphire I can't DT for thingy. Or do I just, you know, throw it at them, you know? Do I just throw a Thassa's Oracle at them next turn? Yeah, I'm going to do that. It might not be great. But I can attack 20 times as well, can't I? So what do we know about their hand? It has a Manifold Key in it. Merchant Scroll, Lorien. They didn't cycle Lorien last turn. Scalding Tarn. 3 cards. Lorien, Merchant Scroll, Mystery. Brainstorm. I mean, Brainstorm's going to help us rebuild after this. Cast Consult. If they have Force of Will, they have Force of Will. If they don't, we win. They've got Force of Will pitching Merchant Scroll, pitching Lorien Revealed. Okay, so that gets countered. Thassa's Oracle happens, and we find a sick card on top. Found a Gush. Yeah, I'll take a Gush. So now Thassa's Oracle on the bottom of our deck, but my Consort has gone. So they're just on Merchant Scroll, which can get them, what, like a Flusterstorm, a PO? Sorry, I just dropped a bunch of shit on the floor. Got a Meticulous Archive and 1 card in hand. So they could just scroll, but Ancestral's gone. Scroll for... I mean, that Underground Sea was really interesting, right? Because scroll for Mystical, for Vamp, for land, not land, Time Vault. I don't know. That's right. So here comes the scroll. It might just be a Brainstorm, or maybe a Treasure Cruise for next turn. So I know none of the cards in their hand at this point, apart from what they reveal off this Merchant Scroll. Gets Flusterstorm. Okay, fine. You can be scared of Flusterstorm. That's fine by me. So I get a Gush, I cast a Brainstorm. Ooh, that was awful. I play a Misty, and if I was to float 2 mana, then my Gush is awful. Okay. Attack for 1. Crunch, crunch. Clock's ticking, bro. Clock is ticking. So I do need to fetch before my next turn, and I can resolve a Gush through a Flusterstorm on my next turn as well. Sensei's Divining Top is fine. They've got 2 cards, one of them's a Fluster. And then they're just going to draw 2 cards with Top and Key, and we're going to slowly get buried by that. Cool, fine. I think that's okay, right? So they've got 2 cards in hand that... No, they've got... Yes, they've got 2 cards in their hand that we don't know. One of them's a top. Can't imagine they're playing the top again right now. Let's fetch. Get Underground Sea. And then we can pay for Fluster on this Gush. That's a Doomsday, and I can't pay for Fluster on that. What if I get black Gush, though? That seems bad. If I just throw Doomsday at them, that also seems bad. I don't have a lot of time, so I think I'm just going to Gush. And I'm going to float blue on my Gush. And I'm not going to return my Undercity. It's a cap to the amount of value I'm allowed in a day, you know? I mean, Ritual Doomsday pay 3. Ritual Doomsday. Replay C first. I cast Dark Ritual. Storm count is 2. I cast Doomsday. Storm count is 3. They play Fluster. Storm count is 4, and I have 4 mana floating. I mean, why not? I mean, why not? This is my Doomsday, sir. I can't get into my piles. This is going to be the first pass the turn pile we've had to make today. They cast Fluster Storm, I spend all my mana. I've not got anything else to do with it anyway. Okay, so real talk. There's the super funny Doomsday pile here of untap, draw Thassa's Oracle, play a Thassa's Oracle. Right? Devotion is 4. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. There's untap, play a land, play Time Walk. At some point I'm going to have to push into them. So I think I want my Gush back. No, I don't think I need Gush. I think I can just get Ancestral. Thassa's Oracle. Untap Ancestral myself. Draw Thassa's Oracle. Flusterstorm. Duress. Untap, draw Ancestral, draw these 3. Put another Doomsday in the stack for the rerun later. Say done to that nonsense. So there's a weak point, and that's the Ancestral. So put these cards on top of your library. So I want it to be that one, then these 2, then Thassa's Oracle, then Ancestral. I attack you form. They've got Urza's Saga. It's not good for me. Please don't have Time Walk. Okay, well that's more than just Time Walk. Okay, well good games. I feel like that means we don't top 8 today. Which is a shame. But yeah. Cool game. Cool game. If there's more video, I top 8'd. I don't think I will though. I'm annoyed about game 1. Game 2 I think I played okay. When did they draw additional cards? They didn't. So they just ripped... Just clean ripped Saga into Time Vault. Good on you. Okay, so as expected, we were the bottom 4 and 2. We got a pretty cool top 8 though. Medvedev, Blessvom. I don't know Viat, but I've played them before. Zia Franconi, Unlucky Monkey, Frowning Table, Storm Guys Me, who just beat us, and Slacks is quite the list for top 8. Beerus bubbling, Montolier bubbling, Biggest Bird bubbling. They were playing Standstill recently. But yeah, no, anyway, as we said before, thanks for watching, and I'm going to play some different decks coming up, just for a bit of fun. I'll still always go back to that old Bazaar of Baghdad that we know and love, but for now, I'm just going to vibe around, exploring different parts of the format as well. So stay tuned for that sort of thing. See you all soon.